Hello to all you poker players out there, and welcome back to the YouTube channel where I have gave myself a challenge to play 100,000 hands on Limit Omaha 25 fast forward games. It has been going slow, and I've said it many times before that I hope I will get in some more stability, and I really believe it now. I cleaned up a lot of things in my life. I've got some big tasks done, so I think the next month it will be very good, somewhere like 30,000 hands. Yesterday I played 1,229 hands. I lost $25. A buy-in, I should actually have been losing 28, so it was very equal, and I had an average all-in of equity of 52.6. So that's a little low, but no disaster at all. I picked out some hands I want to go through, and the first hand here is it's folded to the button, which plays like 60 big blinds. I sit here with ace, king, queen, 8, and it's one of these types of hands I'm often in doubt what to do in the small blind when the button opens, but I do elect to go ahead and free bet it, and the button do go ahead and call. And here on the flop I have a gut shot, top pair, top kicker, and a backdoor flush draw. And this is also one of these things where I'm a little bit in doubt. What do I do here? Do I pot it and call it off? Do I bet 1/3 or whatever? But I decided to pot it, and he folded. But to try and investigate this scenario a little bit, I'm gonna use first the bucket tool and then poker deuce. The bucket tool is a PLO trainer, which is provided by Jane Anders and the Mastermind. It is for free for the members now because it's not fully developed. It's very effective to pre-flop. I think it's a little bit harder to get working for post-flop as there's not so many post-flop ranges yet. And at least I have to dig around a lot to get them in. But I hope it'll get better, and I know they're working very hard to get the post-flop ranges done. So I stick to the bucket tool and see how it develops. If we shall try and solve for this, then we shall go in and set the profile for PLO 50, and then I set the stack sizes for 50 big blinds because he plays like 60. So it's folded and it's folded and it's folded, and he is going to raise 37.8% of the time. If we try and set it for 100 big blinds, then it changes dramatically. Then he's supposed to raise 53.45% of the time, so quite a change. But he raises, and I gotta figure out what to do here. So the ranges will come up here, and if we just try and plug in like ace, king, queen, 8, single suited, then we will see that we shall free bet this hand every time. So the first pre-flop street was correct. And then we are gonna try and use poker deuce to investigate if I played correctly post flop. So we just paste it in here, and what we can do here is like give this button a range and just give it the correct range. The correct range was what? It was fold. It was 37. We can give him 38% of the hands here. So 38%. and then he should be very aggressive in his 4-betting range, but let's just say it's 4 and we are gonna exclude that. So pre-flop, this guy folds, and let's take a look at the equities here. Should be at slight advantage with ace king queen 8. Here on the flop, we have a stack to pot ratio of 2.808, and we need 40% equity to stack off. If we look at our hand versus range, we have 64% equity on this flop with top pair, top kicker, and the gut shot, and the backdoor flush draw. So I go ahead and bet, and now we can do a little bit in here. We can go ahead and change the action of the button, because he folded, and let's say he jams. So we need 21.8% equity to call it off, and as we saw before, we have 64 versus the range, but obviously probably going to be a little bit tighter, quite some tighter when he jams. So it is. I think it's interesting to try and dig a little bit around, see what could he be doing this with. So let's say like it's like 7-7-6-5, for example. Then we are just under the 21.8%, I think it was. If we say that he has like this type of hand, then we are down to 20. Worst case scenarios, if it goes like this, then we are down to 16 if he has a set and a gut shot. If we try and say that he has like king 9 and 10 jack here, so he has top 2 pair, then we actually have 26% equity, which was what I was thinking he would show up with, like a top 2 pair type hand. But all in all, it's an important spot to understand that we actually can bet and call it off. In worst case scenarios, we are a little bit behind equity wise, but most case scenarios we are actually not doing so bad. And of course, that the fact that he goes ahead and fold the hand is obviously pretty fine for my case. So the next hand I want to show is this one here, which could be the reason why I'm losing a little bit. Under the gun opens, and I sit here with a queen 8-7-6. I elect to go ahead and 3-bet, and there's a 4-bet. But if we take a look at the bucket tool here, and just say new situation. So now we're playing 100 big blinds, so we got to check here. He raises, there's a fold, and we got to figure out what to do with queen 8-7-6 double suited. And do it like this, and we will see that this is actually a playable hand, and it is a calling hand. It's not a free betting hand. I was a little bit surprised that in the cutoff that we actually have a hand like this to flat with, because it doesn't contain a lot of nuttiness. A lot of the straights and the straight draws will be in trouble, and a lot of the flush potential will be in trouble. So I was a little bit surprised. What is a little bit interesting is to try and change the profile here, and we have this raise, fold, and here, and set the same hand in. Just we need a little time here. Queen 8-7-6 double suited, and then we will actually see that we are able to free bet it 10% of the time. So quite a difference there. I call and flop top pair and an inside wrap, and he jams into me, which he should do on this flop. It's a rainbow flop. He blocks the top pair. So easy jam for him. I need 32% equity to call it off, and I have 43, so it's an easy call. The turn and the river bricks for me, so he wins. But for this stake, it was a little bit too aggressive play on my side pre-flop. The next hand is just a little bit of a confirmation. Like we have a guy here under the gun. Now he shall never open with King 10 8 8 under the gun. I don't think anyhow. But with a 40 big blind starting stack, he shouldn't do that. But what I was wondering a little bit with this Ace 10 10 6, I'm still a little bit biased about these hands. Like I know probably in my mind that I'm supposed to free bet these types of hands, but I don't always understand why. And especially not with a short stacker that opens under the gun. But he just clicks it. I go ahead and free bet, and he calls here on the flop. I have top pair and some back doors to a straight and a flush, and I have some future blockers with my 2 10s also. He checks and I elect just to check it back. Here on the turn he picks up a good amount of equity. He has a gut shot with a jack to come and a second nut flush draw. He takes a little stab at it. I obviously call, and here on the river it breaks out, and I pray that he is shutting down, and he actually goes ahead and check, and I don't see any value in betting here, so just check it back. But if we take a look at it here in the bucket tool again, then just go ahead and set the profile for PLO 50. Back to that, and we take the stack size to 50. So he raises, there's a fold, and we want to figure out with this range of hands. And plug in Ace 10 10 6, I guess it was. Yeah. Double suited, and we will see it as a free bet every day, all day. So just a little bit of a confirmation that I actually am picking up on these types of hands and these types of positions to actually play them correct, and I win a little pot. That's nice also. The fourth hand we're going to go through here is just a little example on how we can evaluate some things, because the thing about a solver like the bucket tool is like when we plug it in here with the root, then we only have these options. We don't have the option to put in a limber. So what is going on here is that hijack limps, and I sit here with King 8-5 single suited in the cutoff. It's always an easy open the cutoff, but when we have a limber, we usually say that the range of hands you will open in a position earlier than you are in is the range of hands you should open. So I was doubting a little bit to open here. I did go ahead and do it. There's a free bet here, so I was wondering, like, should I actually open here? But the way to figure that out in my mind then is to we have to put 100 big blinds in, is to take this range of hands and plug in. And we have a King 8-5 single suited, and we will see it is open 100% of the time. We can also take and say now we have opened and then the button goes ahead and raise. Then there's fold and fold, and we gotta figure out if we shall call with single suited kings. We're out of position, and it's not a good spot, I can tell you. So 100% of the time we should fold a hand like this, especially out of position. And as you see, I actually go ahead and fold. So lucky for me. What I want to show you now is that when we went through like the breakdown in after the first 25,000 hands, one of the things I struggle with is like in early position and middle position, I don't open enough. And again, if we just use the bucket tool here and we just solve for these like 100 big blinds, okay, 100 big blinds and PLO 50, and here, how much should we open? We should open 23.47, 25.5% of the time. And if we just go in and take a look at this session from yesterday, I have a raise first in mid position of 14.77. And now it was a very loose game with a lot of limbers and all kinds of things, and I don't think it's a big deal to tighten up the ranges in exactly under the gun and hijack, because you're gonna get action anyway. If you open a little bit too wide, then you're gonna play out of position versus wide ranges a lot of the times, and it's not gonna be a whole lot of fun always. So it's not like a big deal. But on the other hand, I use this PLO 25 and the YouTube channel to use it as training ground to open up correct ranges. So what I did today is like I double clicked here on middle position, and now I have there's 212 hands here, and then I just put in a filter here and just said action opportunities, went down and said pre-flop opportunities, and the opportunity to open the pot, just clicked on that one and save and apply, and then we went down to 149 hands. And what I basically just did, I just took every hand up and started to see like all the trash that even I could see that I should fold. I just folded, but all the hands I was in doubt, I put into the bucket tool, and it ended up with 9 hands, and I want to share them with you. So it's a very easy exercise, but it is an exercise for me to starting to become better. So we see here I have Queen 965 double suited, and we just take this range here and just start to plug in Queen 965, I guess it was Queen 965 double suited, and we will see it's a raise every time. So a mistake to fold here, first mistake. So to try and find hands which I fold that I have to raise to have a balanced range and a GTO range when I move up in stake. That's kind of the exercise here. The next hand was this one here, where we have King 10-10 deuce double suited, and we see I go ahead and fold. Let's try and put it in. King 10-10 deuce double suited, I think it was right. And so this was actually a fold. Okay, I am solving for the right thing, right? Kilo 50, yeah, okay. So that wasn't really relevant. The next hand I have is King 9-3 single suited. Can't really believe I folded this, but again, let's just try and put it in here. King 9-3 single suited. I think it was king 9-3, right? Gosh. King 9-3, single suited. And we can see this is actually a mix where we can both fold and both raise. So it's not like it's a big deal that I folded, but still on the other hand, when I have a tendency to overfold in that spot, then I think that would be relevant to put it in to the raising range. Still have this one up. Okay, pretty good show so far. There it was. Next time we're gonna investigate here is Queen 9-6-5. Didn't I investigate that before? Queen 9-6-5 double suit, and that was a raise. And the next time we're gonna investigate is this one. Yeah, I go ahead and fold, huh? Ace, Queen 8-8, try suit. Ace, Queen 8-8, TS, I think is, and this is a raise every day. So a mistake to fold that one. Can go into the racing range. Here we sit with a 9-7-6-5 single suit, and I go and fold. Let's take a look at it. 9-7-6-5 single suited, and it is a raise also. So there's a lot to learn for me about widening these ranges. I mean, we gotta learn to play a little bit of a wider ranges, or at least the correct ranges, maybe even wider at some point. Here I fold Ace, Jack 5 deuce double suited. Let's try and take a look at it. Ace, Jack 5 deuce, double suit. Yeah, this can be a little bit, no, it is a raise every time. There can be some few times you can fold it, but it is a raise. Yeah. So also a mistake to fold that one. And the last hand I've picked out is King 9-3. I think we have gone over that one time. But even though it ends up in a little bit of a, yeah, that was that was a mixed bag. But even though it is a little bit ends up in a little bit of a messy session review here on the YouTube channel, then I think it's fine. We go over some hands twice, so we learn the lessons. Nevertheless, that was it for now, and I wish you all the best of luck out in life. See you.